Hey everybody, John and Lance from the bench. Mornings on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Lots of chatter about offensive-minded head coaching candidates to work with Deshaun, Lance, considering how challenged the Texans are at defense and likely no JJ in the future. Maybe next year, maybe not. After that, probably no more JJ. Is there a case to be made that maybe they should focus on a defensive-minded head coach as opposed to an offensive-minded head coach?
Yeah, I'm a fan of best coach available, a guy who can not only rally the troops but has the right demeanor and personality for adversity, the demeanor and personality for success. Somebody who understands how to deal with quarterback Deshaun Watson, and it doesn't have to be an offensive-minded coach. I'm not saying you can't have an offensive-minded coach. I think most people believe the next head coach will be offensive-minded, but I do think that you want to have the guy who is the best CEO who also can help on one side of the ball. I do think an expertise on a side is helpful because the defense really needs help, but we know this team will be, well, I don't know. I was going to say it'll be as good as Deshaun can help it become, but really that's not the case. Deshaun's had a pretty good year this year, and, well, here you are. So the personnel has to be taken care of on defense, but to me, get the right guy and hire the right coordinators, and you'll be okay. As soon as you get that, and then you get the right corners and safeties, and you get the right pass rushers, and you get the right GM, and once you get the right running backs, and then once you get maybe 2 wide receivers, a starting guard, maybe 2 starting guards and a center, as soon as you maybe get a new kicker, once you get a better linebacker next to Zach Cunningham, I think you're going to be fine. And once you have a little bit more depth and they're able to also maybe tighten up your salary cap issues.
That's it?
Once that happens, to me, you're going to be fine, no matter who the head coach is.
Okay, well, you sure that's it? No,
well, that's the process. That's the process.
So I've always thought the head coach, whether he's an offensive guy or a defensive guy, is way overrated. We see Adam Gase, and their offense stinks. We saw Brian Billick win a Super Bowl. He was an offensive guy, and they had the best defense ever and the worst quarterback
John
to ever
Harbaugh
win a Super Bowl.
is a special teams coach.
Yeah, I mean, to me, if you get a good defensive coordinator or a good offensive coordinator, if you're on the other side of the ball, then you're going to be just fine on that side of the ball. That's the most important thing, is hiring those coordinators. That certainly is awfully important. But how important is it? Let's say Deshaun wants an offensive guy. He's suggested a couple of offensive guys, and you go with a defensive guy. I mean, honestly, listen, the star thing, I get it. The NBA, you got to consult with your stars. So sometimes they pick their head coach, like Steve Nash in Brooklyn. But is it kind of a big deal that Deshaun is engaged in this whole thing?
I mean, realistically, yes. You can say what you want, but the reality is, realistically, yes, because Deshaun is not a long-term does not have a long-term contract. He's getting paid great money, but for 3 additional years. And that means that if you want him here long term, he needs to be happy with the direction of the team. Now, I think you can hire whoever you want, and if you're winning, Deshaun, first and foremost, has a winner's mentality, and I don't think he's a diva or a baby in that regard. I don't think that's who Deshaun Watson is. I do think that Deshaun is going to want to be part of the process, and as your number 1 team leader, because that's who he either is currently or is going to be certainly when JJ's gone. I think Deshaun's going to want to at least be consulted, be in the room, not necessarily pick the head coach, but I think he, will want to have a good relationship with the head coach. And I think it's important to have a good relationship between head coach and quarterback anyway. But
you'd be an idiot if you were a head coach and you didn't have a good relationship with Deshaun
Deshaun Watson. You'd be stupid. You won't be there for long. Idiot.
And then we'll find out about Deshaun too. Because is he going to be Aaron Rodgers, who didn't pick Matt LaFleur, who they picked? He needed receivers, so they go out and got a quarterback in the first round, and then look at how Aaron Rodgers was playing? Or is he going to be James Harden when I didn't get to pick the head coach, so I'm mad? So is he going to be like that? We'll find out a lot about Deshaun Watson. I would prefer he was A instead of B. A, Aaron Rodgers instead of B, James Harden. That's just me.
A, makes sense. Neat stuff, John. Neat stuff today.
Neat stuff.